Ben, go ahead. You are live. Henry.
All right, welcome to Sustainability. So we're streaming live today with the Spirit of the Game Foundation and the World of Ability Network. I'm kind of jumping right into it, putting together some notes for the call. Um, it's Workaholic Wednesdays. So this is today we're going to talk mainly about brainstorming. You're hitting the midweek peak today. Monday, you look at the baseline of where you're going. Yesterday, we talked about resetting, the friction with creating tech projects. Today is about staying rooted in your vision while keeping your progress on track. So Wednesday is the ultimate day to review your progress so far. By the afternoon, everything should be pretty much, reviewed for the week. So this is the moment where you open your master ledger and check your metrics. Did you hit your outreach goals? Are your numbers moving? This is also your follow-up day. So every conversation or project task you started over the last 2 days needs a direct follow-up today. So close the open loops before they turn into forgotten promises. All right, and if you're listening, make sure that you write down, the metrics that you needed to get done, and where you are today and what your goals are for the rest of the week. All right, so we're going to talk about what I'm calling the structured brainstorm engine. So how to properly brainstorm without losing your mind or derailing your mission. So most founders and creative leaders handle brainstorming completely wrong. They think brainstorming means sitting in a room or jumping on a call and just freestyling ideas for 3 hours. Here's the danger. If you just freestyle it, you will never finish brainstorming. There is no stopping point. You end up chasing shiny objects, piling up half-baked concepts, and wandering completely away from your core vision. To stay rooted, you need a structured brain. It comes down to 4 simple steps. And write these down if you're listening. Step 1, write it down. Literally need to write it because it literally sounds simple, but it's not. Before you pitch an idea to anyone, put pen to paper. Capture the raw concept in writing so it has physical boundaries. So, if you struggle with writing, use AI, but have a plan or whatever. Know what you're going to do with your business or your idea before you present it. And okay, so moving forward, so you're not going to just start it off without just knowing what your idea is. Step 1. Step 2, present the draft. So bring that written concept to your core team, your accountability group, your referral partners, whoever it is. Present that to them, even if it's like a company that you want to partner with and you don't know, you just want to run it by them. Run the piece of paper by them, and preferably you want to present that draft before you have the conversation so they've read it. It's actually a high level skill, and it's something that high level Amazon corporate had to follow from a Jeff Bezos direction, that everybody has to read it beforehand, and they get in there and they talk about what they think. They don't just talk about the ideas, they talk about specific written factual information. So present that draft after you wrote it down, and make sure you give it to them beforehand if you can. Step three, ask for edits and opinions. Don't look for applause, ask for constructive friction. Where's the gap? What doesn't align with our primary objective? Ask solid questions surrounding the idea that you've presented. And then those updates. Okay, so step 4, then you update the final draft. So you're going to take the feedback, you're going to sharpen it up, you're going to update the document, and voila, you have a brand new executable idea that is 100% alignment with your mission. So right now, let's like take a minute and just write down some ideas that you're still working on, and challenge yourself today to take those things that you're still trying to figure out, and just write a brief plan. And preferably you do it by hand on a piece of paper, and take a break from the blue light, and don't just ask AI. Try to use your literal conscious to define what your idea is before you share it. All right, so we're moving on to start talking about setting the stopping point. So when you put the structure around your creativity, brainstorming stops being a distraction and it starts being a weapon. You give your business a hard stopping point. Once the final draft is updated, the brainstorming phase is officially over and the execution phase begins. That is how high performing leaders protect their focus and keep their operations aligned. So here's your Workaholic Wednesday command. Open your calendar and notes app right now, run your midweek metric check, and send out your pending follow ups. Then take that one big idea floating around in your head, write it down on paper, and present it to an ally for feedback before the day ends. Tomorrow is Thread Thursday, where we open the gates back up for network weaving, identifying referral partners, and driving the giver's gain architecture. So before we cut the feed today, if you're a high performing founder, a leader running a social equity startup, or a humanitarian operator out in the field doing real work, we really want to connect with you. So please reach out to me via my cell phone 615-821-9662, and learn more about me via my website arieljudah.com. And you can also apply as a guest on the Building Trust podcast, to get your business out there. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're growing at a large scale, we really want to be able to tell your story and how trust helped define you. And then we also want to get you vetted to lock arms with our network inside the Trusted Trade Hub. So let's put cold reason to our relationships and build uncompromised equity together. Remember the house law: what's fun gets done. So stay rooted in your vision, structure your ideas, and let's execute. I'm out.